The shuttle doors slid open with a hiss that reminded Ayla Quinn of pressurized airlocks back on Earth, except this place smelled sterile, artificial, too clean to be real. No hint of dirt, no trace of life. Welcome to Vircon Interstellar Academy, the hollow screen flashed in 8 languages, the most prestigious academy in the galaxy, the most hostile environment she'd ever walked into. Ayla stepped down the ramp, boots silent against polished obsidian flooring. The spaceport terminal was enormous. Curved architecture, silver-white lighting, walls lined with holographic banners displaying alien noble houses and their planetary crests. Dozens of students turned her way, tentacles froze mid-motion. Crystalline eyes widened. Mandibles clicked nervously. Whispers rippled. That's her. The Death Worlder. They say humans train in perpetual danger. Ayla kept walking, her steps steady, posture relaxed but coiled, breathing slow. Her heart rate didn't change. She had practiced controlling that years ago. Fear was a luxury she couldn't afford on Earth. A towering alien with translucent violet skin leaned toward another student. "Why send that to our academy?" he muttered. Ayla heard it clearly. She always heard more than people assumed. Humans adapted, fast. At the end of the walkway, an administrative drone scanned her ID chip. "Ayla Quinn," it chirped. "Earth. Classification, Death World. Warning, student poses biological and physical risk." The drone projected a summary of her species. Homo sapiens, known for erratic behavior. Pain tolerance extreme. Predatory focus response activated under threat. The screen changed to red text. "Do not provoke," Ayla exhaled slowly. Great, subtle as a siren. 2 alien students, fox-like twins, shrunk back when she passed. They clutched their datapads like shields. She didn't blame them. Humanity's reputation had reached this far, adaptable, unpredictable, freakishly resilient. The only species that treated danger like a playground. We didn't ask for the title, Ayla thought. The universe gave it. She walked toward the main campus transit rail, scanning architecture with practiced awareness. Ceilings height, emergency exits, guard drone stations. Her father taught her that habit when she was 8. Ayla, awareness wins fights you never have to enter. She hadn't realized how much she'd depend on those teachings until the day Earth was classified as a Tier Black Death World. She reached Platform C, just as a magnetic tram slid into place. The doors opened and she stepped into a wide, curved car full of alien students. All conversation died. The silence pressed against her like static. A young insectoid with faceted eyes squeaked out, "Hi, are humans really immune to pain?" Ayla adjusted her strap, gaze level. "Pain hurts. We just don't freeze." The insectoid nodded rapidly and scuttled away. She took a seat near the window and watched gas giant Varkos 7 rotate below. Streaked in violet storms, beautiful, vast, silent, peaceful in a way Earth never was. She closed her eyes, focusing on her breathing. Slow. Even. The tram jerked. Someone sat across from her. Ayla opened her eyes. A boy. No, not a boy. A Thaljin. 8 feet tall, even while seated, crystalline scales glinting like gemstones. His uniform bore the crest of the Vircon Senior Council. His posture radiated ownership of this academy, Zyreth Velkar. She recognized him from the academy briefing packet, heir to a mining dynasty spanning 5-star systems. Dangerous not because of strength, but because of power. He leaned forward, voice smooth. "So, the Death World curiosity arrives." Ayla kept her expression neutral. "Human," she corrected. "My name is Ayla." He smiled, revealing crystalline teeth. How quaint. "You think names matter here?" Ayla didn't respond. Silence was a blade sharper than any insult. Zyreth studied her, eyes narrowing. "You know what we do to new students who don't show respect?" "I don't perform submission rituals," she said. A soft laugh escaped him. "You must think you're special." Ayla held his stare, unflinching. "I think I'm here to study." Zyreth's voice dropped. "No, You're here for entertainment. The tram stopped. He stood, towering over her. Orientation for first years is at Hall 7. Be punctual. In this academy, defying seniors has consequences. Ayla didn't move, didn't blink. I don't respond to threats, she said. Xyreth smirked. That wasn't a threat. He stepped off the tram. That was a promise. The doors slid shut and the tram continued. The academy campus was vast. Suspended gardens, floating lecture halls, training sims that simulated any gravity level. Ayla walked across the courtyard, ignoring stares. She scanned for the dormitory district. She was halfway there when someone tapped her shoulder. A small, round reptilian alien, likely a first year as well, offered a nervous smile. I'm Tiri, welcome. You probably feel overwhelmed. Ayla blinked. A friendly person? Unexpected. I'm fine, she said. Tiri walked alongside her, tail swishing anxiously. I saw Xyreth talking to you. Avoid him. He likes games. I'm not here to play. Tiri swallowed. That's what worries me. They reached the dorm tower and stepped onto a lift. Tiri whispered once the doors closed. You need to understand the hierarchy. Xyreth runs the upper class. He humiliates newcomers to remind them who's superior. Ayla pressed the button for her floor. And you're telling me this why? Because last year a new student from Taros Prime resisted him. Tiri hesitated. She transferred out after 1 week. Wouldn't talk to anyone. Ayla stared at the lift door. Did he hurt her? Tiri's voice dropped. Some say she hurt herself trying to keep up with his orientation challenge. The academy overlooked it because of his family's influence. Alya's jaw tightened. How did she get caught in his challenge? Tiri handed her a small card. Coordinates for Hall 7. New students receive one of these, he explained quietly. Seniors say it's a tradition. Ayla slid the card into her pocket. I don't follow traditions that involve humiliation. Tiri's head lowered. That's the problem. Xyreth targets those who resist. The lift door opened to Ayla's dorm corridor. Tiri offered a small, sad smile. I hope you survive the term. Ayla stepped out and faced him. Surviving is what humans do best. The doors shut. Her dorm room was simple. Bed, desk, sanitation unit. She set her pack down and stretched her sore shoulders. Then she opened the card. A single line. Hall 7. After curfew. Ayla exhaled through her nose. A setup. Obvious. Predictable. She walked to the mirror over the desk. Her reflection stared back. Sharp eyes, steady posture, hair tied back in a simple braid. No fear. No hesitation. Her father's voice echoed in memory. You don't start fights, but if they force it, end it so they never try again. Ayla closed the card between her fingers. I didn't come here to fight, she said softly, but there was steel beneath her calm. If they want a war, they can try. Outside her window, the academy lights flickered. Somewhere across campus, in the shadows of Hall 7, seniors planned her humiliation. They didn't understand humans, yet. Curfew hit the academy like a power-down command. Hallways dimmed, doors auto-locked. The only sound was the distant hum of ventilation and the occasional hover drone gliding past. Ayla left her dorm quietly. She wore nothing flashy. Plain academy uniform, boots laced tight, hair secured. No jewelry, no adornment, only her focus. Hall 7 lay on the far side of campus, past the simulation arenas. The path there felt intentionally secluded. Deserted corridors. Dim lighting, glass walls overlooking endless space. Halfway in, a message pinged her datapad. Come alone. She deleted it without slowing. She reached Hall 7. The doors were tall enough for a species twice her height. Above them, in ornate alien script, a golden emblem glowed, the crest of the senior council. Ayla pushed the doors open. Darkness swallowed her. Then, with a heavy thump, the doors slammed shut behind her. A spotlight snapped on. Xyreth Velkar stood in front of a large circular arena, flanked by 4 other seniors. They blocked the exits with casual precision. Their expressions said everything. We planned this. You walk where we decide. The arena floor rippled, plates shifting into place. It wasn't a normal room. It was a high-level gravity simulator. Ayla took in the details at a glance. Reinforced flooring, variable force projectors, emergency vents sealed, no supervision. No cameras except the one Xyrath held. He lifted his wrist pad, angling it toward her. "Live broadcast," he said. "Private channel. The upper class is watching." Ayla stayed silent. "You're going to kneel," Xyrath continued, "and admit humans exaggerate their strength. Then you'll beg to leave." Behind him, a horned alien snorted. "This will be short." Ayla's voice stayed level. "You assume a lot." One of the seniors tapped a control pad in the wall. The arena hummed. A warning hologram appeared. "Gravity training chamber. Authorization required." Level 3.2X standard. Xyrath stepped into the center and gestured for her to join. "Welcome to your orientation." Ayla walked to the marked circle. Her heart stayed steady. Adrenaline waited, coiled. Xyrath smiled and activated the gravity field. It hit instantly. Weight slammed onto her shoulders, like someone stacking concrete slabs on her spine. Her muscles strained to adjust. Knees bent slightly, absorbing force. She kept her head up. Behind the control panel, one senior laughed. "Humans are so fragile. Look, she's already shaking." Ayla wasn't shaking. She was calculating. Earth's gravity was 1G. This was barely triple. Hard, but survivable. She shifted her stance, feet apart, core tight, and straightened. Her breathing slowed into a measured cadence. Xyrath's eyes narrowed. He increased the gravity again. 4.8 standard. Her bones vibrated. Muscles burned. She felt tendons strain under the load. Pain existed. Fear didn't. She pictured weighted hiking drills back home, climbing volcanic rock with 50 kilograms on her back while storms slammed the cliffs. This was nothing. A senior called out, "Kneel!" "No," Ayla said simply. Xyrath's smile thinned. "You will." He nudged the control. 6X standard pressure spiked. Ayla dropped to one knee. Gasps erupted from the upper class watching the stream. Xyrath turned the camera so everyone could see her kneeling. He angled his wrist pad for dramatic effect. Deathworlder? More like... Ayla pushed up. Slow. Controlled. She stood again. The room went silent. Her composure unnerved them more than if she'd shouted. Xyrath leaned closer, voice edged with frustration. "You should be unconscious." Ayla met his eyes. "You should have picked a different target." The senior at the control pad hesitated. "If we go higher, the projectors will flag admin alerts," Xyrath snapped. "Override them!" I can't override hard limits without..." Xyrath slammed his hand into the panel. "Manual override. Accepted 8.0X standard." The chamber roared. Ayla's vision narrowed. She felt her pulse hammering in her ears. Her legs trembled, once. But she stayed upright, her voice steady. "On Earth, we train in conditions that kill the weak." Xyrath's confident posture slipped. Ayla stepped toward him, one step under crushing weight. Another, Xyrath backed up, instinct overriding arrogance. "Stay where you are!" The other seniors looked uneasy now. One whispered, "This isn't normal." "Nothing should move under this." Xyrath gritted his teeth. "More power." "No," the horned alien shouted. "The field could implode." "No one leaves until she breaks," Xyrath said. He hit the panel again. 9.3X standard. Critical risk. Ayla's muscles screamed. Blood rushed to her head. She tasted iron. Vision flickered. Her father's voice cut through the static of memory. "Pain isn't a signal to stop. It's information. Use it." Ayla dropped her center of gravity and leaned forward, letting momentum assist. She dragged one foot in front of the other. Every step felt like dragging a boulder. 3 more steps, then she stood directly in front of Xyrath. He stumbled back. "Shh, how?" Ayla raised her hand and flicked the wrist pad from his grip. It clattered to the floor. She turned to the panel. With one motion, she hit the emergency kill switch. Gravity collapsed back to normal. Xyrath and the seniors dropped to their knees, disoriented. Ayla didn't fall. She regained control instantly. Their breathing came sharp and frantic. She inhaled calmly. Xyrath snapped out of shock first. Rage twisted his expression. "We aren't done." He signaled one of the others. A panel slid open in the wall. Mechanical drones, sleek, weaponized training units rose from the floor, optical sensors glowing red. Drones. Stun setting, Zyreth ordered. New objective. Make her scream. Ayla didn't move. The drones fired stun bursts. Ayla ducked and shifted, fluid, efficient. She grabbed a fallen wrist pad and hurled it. It struck the lead drone, sending sparks across the floor. The second drone fired again. Ayla rolled behind one of the stunned seniors, using him as temporary cover. Screams erupted. Ayla snatched a broken drone wing, flipped it, and used the sharp edge to sever a power cable on another machine. It collapsed with a sizzle. The remaining drone charged. Ayla pivoted, slipped under its arms, and slammed the metal plate into its central eye. The drone crumpled. Zyreth froze. Ayla walked toward him. No cameras now, she said. He backed into the arena wall. His crystalline skin reflected the failing emergency lights. What are you? He stammered. Ayla leaned close enough that only he could hear. You wanted to break something? She whispered. You should have checked if it was breakable. The doors unlocked with a metallic click. Ayla walked out without looking back. Behind her, the seniors gasped on the floor, physically fine, psychologically shattered. The live stream ended abruptly. A single line appeared on every viewer's screen. Humans don't kneel. The Academy's morning bell chimed, soft, melodic. Ayla Quinn stood in the cafeteria line with a tray in her hands, blending among first years who whispered in bursts. Someone hacked the broadcast feed. The seniors collapsed on the floor. A human walked through 9.3 gravity like it was nothing. Rumors traveled faster than hyperspace. Ayla chose a corner seat facing the exit. Habit. Observation was safety. She ate quietly, ignoring the stares, ignoring the glances that bounced away the moment she lifted her gaze. The room felt brittle, everyone waiting for something else to break. Tiri, the small reptilian student she met in the dorm lift, rushed toward her and nearly tripped over his tail. You're alive, he blurted. Ayla blinked. Was that in question? You went to Hall 7, Tiri hissed. Nobody returns from that place unshaken. Ayla sipped water. I walked out. Tiri lowered his voice. The entire senior class is in uproar. Zyreth didn't show for morning council session. Ayla nodded once. He'll show. Because men like him hated losing more than they feared consequences. Before Tiri could respond, the cafeteria doors exploded inward, shoved with enough force that the metal clanged against the walls. Zyreth stood in the doorway. His uniform was immaculate. His posture rigid. His crystalline scales reflected cold light. But his eyes gave him away, feverish with bruised pride. Conversation ceased. He walked toward Ayla with deliberate steps. Not running, not trembling. Every movement calculated to display dominance in a room full of witnesses. Tiri whispered, Don't provoke him. Just walk away, Ayla set her glass down. I don't run. Students parted as Zyreth approached. Like water dividing around stone. He stopped at her table and leaned forward, voice low enough to keep others from hearing. You humiliated me in front of upper-class representatives. Ayla held his stare. You orchestrated a hazing ritual. I responded. You assaulted students. I defended. Myself. You destroyed Academy. Property. You released drones designed to attack. The room was so quiet, the air recycler sounded like wind. Zyreth's jaw tightened. You think this is over? Ayla tilted her head slightly. You still don't understand what happened. Zyreth straightened. Stand. We finish this. Ayla remained seated. You summoned me last night. If you want another confrontation, schedule it properly. The quiet around them deepened. Someone choked on their drink. Ayla lowered her voice even further. Otherwise, sit down and eat your breakfast. Zyreth's composure cracked. A faint tremor ran along his crystalline jawline. Losing control. Losing audience. He reached out, fast, hand aimed for her collar. Ayla slipped sideways, letting his momentum pass harmlessly. No wasted motion. No retaliation, just a reminder that she didn't need force to win. Every student saw it. Ayla stood. Calm. Measured. Touch. Me again. she said softly, "and I will defend myself." "But I don't fight in dining halls," Xyreth's voice sharpened. "You think rules will protect you?" "I don't need protection." A teacher entered the cafeteria, alerted by the commotion. Xyreth stepped back, face blank, returning to noble composure. "This isn't finished," he murmured. Ayla sat again without looking at him. "It is for me." He turned sharply and left. Only when he was gone did conversations resume. Later that afternoon, all senior council chamber opaque. Doors slid open to a circular chamber made of glass and polished stone. Ayla's presence here wasn't voluntary. She had been summoned by official notice. At the high bench sat the academy head instructor, the student council chair, Xyreth Velkar. Still wearing his senior insignia, Ayla stood on the center platform. Xyreth spoke first. She broke into a restricted simulation chamber and initiated unauthorized combat training. Ayla cut in. "Correction. I was lured there with a falsified orientation summons." The council chair frowned. "Documentation?" Ayla projected the summons hologram she saved. "Not altered, not forged." The timestamp proved it. She rotated the image, revealing the sender. Xyreth Velkar, Senior Council Authority. Code Xyreth's scales flushed darker. The instructor asked, "Is the code genuine?" A security tech ran a scan. "Yes. Originates from his personal directory." A murmur rippled across the council. Xyreth pointed at Ayla, voice pitched with frustration. "She attacked drones." "She turned them against us," Ayla responded calmly. "I disabled them. The chamber logs show 0 counterattacks from me until drones engaged." The security tech reviewed the log. Confirmed. The instructor leaned forward. "Mr. Velkar, why did you use a training chamber without authorization?" Xyreth opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I wanted to assess her skill." Ayla met his gaze. "You wanted to humiliate me for existing," gasps. Even the instructor stiffened at her directness. The chair exhaled slowly. "You violated academy safety protocols, endangered students, and misused your authority. Effective immediately, you are stripped of your senior council position." Xyreth's eyes widened. "No. You can't." "Security will escort you out," the instructor said. 2 guards approached. He pointed at Ayla as they took him by the arms. "I will not be beneath a human." Ayla didn't flinch. "You put yourself there." He was dragged from the chamber, still shouting. The doors closed. Silence settled. The council chair turned to Ayla. "You displayed restraint despite provocation. The academy values discipline." She nodded. "I came here to learn, not to fight." The instructor studied her thoughtfully. "Humans are full of contradictions." "Adaptation," she replied. "Not contradiction." The meeting ended. Ayla walked out without ceremony. Evening, balcony above, training grounds, the sky outside the academy glowed with streaks of violet lightning from the gas giant below. Ayla leaned against the railing, breathing the sharp, artificial air. A small voice spoke behind her. "You didn't destroy him," Tiri said. "You dismantled him." Ayla didn't answer immediately. With slow clarity, she spoke. "I didn't need to force anything." "They broke themselves," Tiri blinked. "Why just walk away in the end?" Ayla watched a shuttle rise into orbit. "Because victory isn't proving I'm strong," she said. "It's proving I don't need to be cruel." Tiri nodded, voice quiet. "Will the other seniors retaliate?" They saw the footage. "They'll think twice," he swallowed. "And if they don't?" Ayla finally looked at him. "Then I finish what they start. Not with rage. Not with violence, with precision." A soft tone chimed on Ayla's datapad, a message from an unknown sender. "Council admin access granted. You now have override clearance to all training chambers." Below it, "Welcome to Vircon Academy, Ayla Quinn." The academy had stopped seeing her as a threat. They now saw her as a force. Ayla lifted her eyes to the stars. "Humans don't kneel," she whispered. "Not here. Not anywhere." The academy courtyard shimmered beneath artificial sunlight. Students crossed the open space in steady flows, uniform colors shifting like migrating schools of fish. Schedules updated constantly on hollow boards, redirecting bodies between labs and training sectors. Ayla walked with her hands in her jacket pockets, blending in despite the ripples of attention around her. Whispering followed her like a faint breeze. Not hostile, something new. Respect. Teary hurried to catch up, tail dragging from exhaustion. The entire academy's been buzzing. They're calling you the Gravity Ghost. Ayla raised an eyebrow. That title sounds dramatic. It is dramatic. You actually... A notification bloomed across her datapad. Mandatory summons Administrative Directive Council Observation Deck. Level 0, the highest level, reserved for foreign delegates, academy leadership, and state dignitaries. No student had authorization to enter unless called. Teary leaned toward her screen. Council Observation Deck, why? Ayla tucked her datapad away. We're about to find out. The elevator ride. The elevator walls glowed a soft silver, rising without sound. As the floor numbers increased, the structure outside the glass panel shifted. Student wings gave way to protected research sectors. Then above that, a panoramic view of open stars. No rails. No partitions. Just the cosmos, humbling and endless. Ayla inhaled slowly. The silence here was sharp and clean. Beautiful. In a way, nothing on Earth had ever been. The lift stopped with a gentle chime. The observation deck, she stepped onto polished black flooring that reflected starlight like water. 3 individuals waited. Head Instructor Ral Thorin, Diplomatic Operations. Officer Kale Saris, a masked alien wearing a black insignia. Unknown. The last one radiated authority without speaking. The insignia alone made Ayla focus. Highest clearance. Kale Saris gestured toward her. Ayla Quinn, Earth Representative. Thank you for arriving promptly. Representative? That wasn't a student title. Instructor Ral Thorin maintained a neutral tone. Your actions in the gravity chamber initiated multi-species discussions regarding Earth's potential elevation to high-threat strategic asset. Ayla kept her expression still. I defended myself. Nothing more. The masked figure stepped forward. A voice modulator distorted their tone, making age and gender impossible to define. Humility is efficient camouflage, they said. But camouflage is not required here. Ayla didn't respond. Silence was safer than speculation. The masked figure paced a half-circle around her. Humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans calculate risk under extreme stress. You demonstrated superior restraint. They stopped. We have been waiting for confirmation. Ayla's pulse ticked in her ears. Confirmation of what? That humans are no longer an underestimated footnote in the galactic register. The weight behind the statement was undeniable. The masked individual tapped a panel. A hologram appeared, a galaxy map with red zones marking restricted territories. One region pulsed. Earth. Death World classification confirmed. Potential strategic asset, Kale continued. Your academy incident reached diplomatic networks. Military councils watch the footage. Governments are re-evaluating human capability. Instructor Ral Thorin folded his arms. Your restraint prevented an interspecies incident. If you had retaliated excessively, war factions would have used it to justify sanctions. Ayla replied quietly. You think I prevented a war? The masked figure leaned in. You prevented a hysteria. They projected a second hologram, a meeting room. 20 council members from various worlds. A freeze frame of Zyreth arguing frantically. Humans are a threat. They are dangerous. Ral Thorin dispelled the image. Zyreth's influence collapsed when you refused to escalate. The council now views you as controlled, dangerous only by necessity. They respect that. Kyle stepped closer, tone shifting from formal to intent. We want a partnership. Humans have what other species lack. He ticked off each item. Unpredictability. Grit, calm under pressure, the masked figure finished for him. And when forced, decisive power. Ayla met their hidden gaze. I'm a student, not a symbol. You are both, they replied. Assignment: a new hollow window opened. Authorization trial. Simulation deck. Zero gravity. Tactical arena. Ayla frowned. Another test? No, Ral Thorin said. An appointment. Kyle adjusted his coat. A small delegation arrives tomorrow from the Varkosian Dominion. They're evaluating whether Earth qualifies for equal diplomatic standing, and they'll decide based on me, on your capability to perform under pressure, Ral Thorin corrected, and on whether humans can operate without provoking panic. The masked figure projected an image of a sleek, dimly lit chamber with floating platforms, shifting gravity, and moving obstacles. If you succeed, they continued, Earth is granted a formal seat at the Interspecies Council. Ayla's hands tightened into fists. And if I fail? Kyle answered without hesitation. Earth remains a death world curiosity, feared, observed, not respected. The masked figure gestured to the stars beyond the glass. You decide how humanity enters the future, admired or avoided. Ayla inhaled, grounding herself. Earth had been mocked, dismissed, labeled volatile. Maybe this was how it changed. She raised her chin. I'll do it. The masked figure pressed a control panel, confirming her compliance. Report to Simulation Deck 18 at 1700 hours. Use only Academy gear. No enhancements. They turned to leave. Ayla stopped them with a question. Why me? The masked figure paused, head angled slightly. You're not the strongest student, they said. You're not the fastest. Alia waited. But when you walk into a room, people stop. They faced her fully. Strength is predictable. Fear is manageable. Presence is neither. And then they were gone. Evening, Simulation Deck 18. The training arena stretched in darkness, multiple platforms suspended in a void. Gravity fluctuated subtly enough to require balance. Ayla tightened her gloves. Focus narrowed. Tiri stood near the railing, wringing his hands. Please don't die. I don't intend to. Lights ignited across the platforms. A countdown appeared. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Ayla launched forward. No gravity. Then too much. Then sideways. The arena didn't want participants to win. It wanted to expose weakness in motion. A rotating platform spun toward her. She leaped, twisting midair. Gravity spiked downward. She landed in a crouch, absorbing impact through her legs. Her breathing stayed steady. Next platform, collapsing tiles. She sprinted across them, predicting the pattern by the micro-vibrations beneath her boots. A voice crackled over the speakers. Kales, delegation observes remotely. Perform without hesitation. Ayla dashed up a vertical wall that shifted horizontal mid-run. She adapted her weight distribution instantly. Halfway across the arena, a drone descended. Not training grade, sleek military design. Kyle's voice again. Final evaluation. Combat conditioning under variable gravity. The drone fired a flash pulse. Ayla rolled under it, kicking off the platform edge. Microgravity caught her. She spun, adjusted, grabbed the drone's stabilizer arm, twisted. The drone crashed into a pillar. Ayla landed on the final platform with effortless precision. Silence. Then the scoreboard lit. Clearance level granted. Earth recognized. The observation deck erupted in applause, muffled through glass. Ayla didn't smile. She simply stood there. Steady and calm, letting the accomplishment settle. Tiri barreled into her with a hug. You did it! Ayla looked through the glass at the delegation. They watched her not with fear, with acknowledgement. Earth had a place. Closing scene later. Alone on the balcony above the training grounds, Ayla watched the gas giant below. The datapad chimed. A message from the masked figure. You didn't just pass. You changed how humanity will be treated. A second line appeared. Humans don't kneel. They ascend. Ayla closed the message and whispered into the starlight. We're just getting started.